Happening today, a technology teacher and assistant band director with Waterbury Public Schools is due in court this morning.
Police say 42-year-old Philip Hughes sent inappropriate text messages to a 16-year-old student through a band app. Your reporter Sierra Jordan is live at the Waterbury courthouse with what we're expecting to learn in court today. Good morning, Sierra.
Good morning. The arrest documents do not reveal which Waterbury Public School Philip Hughes was employed. Now, the district says he was placed on administrative leave at the end of December after officials first learned about these allegations. Now, police spent weeks digging into these allegations, and he was just arrested last month. 42-year-old Philip Hughes began working for Waterbury Public Schools at the end of March last year as a technology education teacher and assistant band director. 9 months later, he was placed on administrative leave. Investigators say a 16-year-old student's mother contacted police after her daughter received inappropriate messages from Hughes through a band communication app and text. The arrest warrant says he called the student baby girl and told her she was more than just a student to him. The warrant also states the student became frightened when Hughes sent screenshots of her deleted TikTok account, prompting the teen to delete call logs and text messages. Waterbury Schools released a statement after his arrest that reads in part, "The safety and well-being of our students are of the utmost priority. We continue to cooperate fully with law enforcement as appropriate." Now, Hughes posted a $50,000 bond last month. He is expected to be in court at 10 a.m. Your reporter in Waterbury, Sierra Jordan, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.